I predicted it, and today's verdict in the Diddy case is nothing less than a complete and total failure by the prosecution and what will go down as the most expensive prostitution trial in American history. The jury didn't believe any of the victims. Cassie was discredited because of her emails and text messages showing she enjoyed the freak-offs. Mia didn't tell law enforcement or prosecutors that she was sexually assaulted, and she posted on social media that she loved Diddy. Jane accepted money and gifts from Diddy, and he continues to pay her rent, so the jurors concluded that she knew what she was getting herself into, and that it was a transactional relationship. The sex trafficking charges were weak because of the overwhelming evidence of consent. The prosecution's only real chance of victory was racketeering and to prove the non-sex related predicate acts like kidnapping, arson, extortion, or bribery. The fact that the jury even rejected those arguments shows the many flaws in the prosecution's case. The government made a number of fatal self-induced errors. They included Gina in the indictment as victim 3 when they didn't have assurances that she would show up, and she went missing days before trial. They failed to lean on and flip key members of Diddy's inner circle like KK and D-Rock. They didn't anticipate the victims' messages and social media posts would be used against them, and they failed to elicit that bad testimony during their direct examination to take the sting out of Cross. The prosecution didn't call any of the sexual assault victims who filed civil lawsuits who did not have a romantic or professional relationship with Diddy, and victims who were minors can't consent, so that would have avoided the defense's best argument. Victims who don't have a relationship with Diddy wouldn't have messages expressing admiration for him. The big question in the case was, why did the victims stay if they were abused? The prosecution failed to answer that question, and the prosecution in the Harvey Weinstein retrial also failed to answer that question. This case will have a chilling effect on other victims coming forward. Imagine telling jurors you were urinated on, forced to take drugs until you threw up, and to have sex on your period and UTI, and they don't believe you. They had to relive their trauma in a very public and embarrassing way, and you better believe other victims will be hesitant to do the same if they won't be believed. I was surprised the judge denied Diddy bail today, even though Cassie submitted a letter saying she feared for her safety. Prostitution is not a serious crime and is rarely prosecuted by the feds. And in theory, if Diddy's guilty of prostitution, so are Cassie and Jane. They communicated with the sex workers directly, set up the freak-offs and hotel nights, and paid them cash or through Zelle or Cash App. I'm not suggesting that Cassie or Jane should be prosecuted, but just to show why Diddy shouldn't be incarcerated based on prostitution convictions alone. No prosecutor would have charged Diddy with just prostitution, and even if they had, no judge would have denied bail for such a minor offense. Even though the Mann Act carries a potential 10-year maximum sentence on each count, Diddy should get time served or close to it. The government is trying to backdoor the uncharged and even acquitted conduct to get a much higher range of 51 to 63 months because of purported coercion and violence. 4 to 5 years in federal prison is unjust. This is why people think Diddy's being railroaded and treated unfairly. Being a prosecutor is not about wins and losses, it's about pursuing justice. The jury has spoken, and prosecutors in the prestigious Southern District of New York should take this very embarrassing loss and move on.